Okay, let's do the bit. All right, we're doing a bit, but we don't know what we're actually doing. So, who wants to go first?
So we're kicking this episode off very holly jolly. So for those of you who have seen Jimmy Fallon, he does this like bit where they have celebrities on and they have to hit this buzzer and they get picked a celebrity and then they have to sing a nursery rhyme. We're going to do it my favorite episode style, except we're not celebrities and we're going to be singing Christmas songs.
I feel nervous.
Why?
If it's not good, I just won't put it in the episode.
I'm going to be scared that I don't know the words.
Kathleen, if it sucks, we'll just have Matt cut it.
All right, can I go first to give it to you?
Yeah.
Okay, so Alanis Morissette.
Oh, that's good.
And All I Want for Christmas Is You. That's the easy one.
That was the one I put down.
Okay.
But, don't wanna lie. Does it sound like her?
Nailing it.
In my head, it sounds like her.
I can't. I'm not going to be able to do it. All right.
Don't wanna lie for Christmas.
That first word was good.
I know. But I can't, it's not sticking with me.
It's like a lot of...
There is just one.
Yes! That's good. That's good.
Thing I need.
Oh my God, yeah.
All right. I'm crying. I'm so embarrassed. Okay. That sucked, and we're probably going to end up cutting this.
Yeah, we're probably going to cut this.
All right. Kathleen. All I Want for Christmas Is You. Share.
Oh, let me try and think of the mom. What's the Mamma Mia song she sings in Mamma Mia too?
Fernando.
Fernando. All right, ready?
The opening gasp is
I feel like I'm just gonna do dystonia voice. I don't want a lot for Christmas. That's my dystonia voice.
That was perfect.
I'm dead. You sound like Kermit the Frog.
All right, which one? What did you write down?
So I wrote down Elmo. So you were almost there with your share. But doing what is supposedly Julie's favorite Christmas song, Little Saint Nick.
It is. I was actually so mad when you guys teamed up on me. Because
I have never in my entire life heard you ever mention Little Saint Nick.
When do we talk about Christmas songs that often?
Let me out Julie really quick. So Joshua Bassett from High School Musical, the musical series.
I'm getting annoyed.
Her favorite 18-year-old.
I think he's 19, but moving on.
Whatever. They did a Christmas special and he sings Little Saint Nick. And Julie texted the group and said something like, it's just fate that he sang this song because it's our favorite. And Matt goes, excuse me, what? I never heard you say that, Little Saint Nick.
It's so good. I'm not even messing around.
It's a good song. It's just I have never, ever heard you bring that song up.
I don't think I can think of it other than Little Saint Nick.
Christmas, baby. Christmas comes this time each year. Yeah, it's fire.
Oh, that's good.
I know.
Do we want to talk about what we're actually talking about on this episode?
You have to make sure that...
Elmo as that. What does Elmo sound like?
Almost like Michael Jackson-y, I would say. Like high. Like, hoo-hoo!
Oh, you sound like Tigger.
They're all the same voice, actually.
Yeah. Anyways, we are here, the group, the
sure
three
are.
of us. We got Kathleen on a mic,
Yo,
me on a mic, and producer Matt on a mic.
Hey.
3 mics.
We are talking.
You counted them right.
Yes. The 3 mics, it's here.
The 3 blind mics.
Yeah. This is a train wreck.
Good.
We're talking about the Happiest season on Hulu.
I have seen this 3 times. I love it.
Me too.
I think it's so good.
It is so good. Me and you watched it on the same night.
The night it came out, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I wasn't going to watch it. And then I was alone in the city and I was like, ew, I started late. I started after you because you had already been past. And I pulled a you.
I know.
And so Julie tends to do something where she'll ask me a question or state something that makes it seem she's finished whatever she watched. And then I'll spoil her for something by accident. And then I did that. I
don't think I spoiled anything like big.
You didn't.
But I was still like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because you were like, I didn't get there yet. And I was like, damn it.
I needed something that was going to make me feel good. And I was waiting for this one for a long time.
It's a very feel-good Christmas movie, but also like very real at the same time.
I've read some scathing reviews about this movie, like absolutely scathing. And I follow a lot of fandoms with a lot of LGBTQ storylines and full fandoms circling that. And there was a lot of mixed reviews, which we can get into. And I totally see all of the point, but it made me so in the mood for Christmas. If you take it for what, like if you just take it at face value, it's like, and then once you actually dig in, sure, there's some like problematic stuff. But I mean, Clea Duvall wrote it and directed it, and it was like her story, and she's a lesbian, so it's not like it's someone straight writing for, you know.
And this is because she's like a pretty well-known 90s actress. Like, you would know her. She was the goth girl in The Faculty with Elijah Wood, and she has a small cameo in Can't Hardly Wait as the girl who's allergic to dancing that Seth Green tries to ask to go dance at the party with her. But she was in a bunch of stuff in the 90s, and she was always kind of like, even then, she was like the social outcast girl. So this is definitely clearly coming from a personal place. I can say, and both of you follow me on Instagram, so you know that I'm not lying about this. I've watched every single new Christmas movie that's been released on any streaming service this year. And I would argue that Happiest Season is the only good one. It was not a very good year for the original Christmas movie. Mm-hmm. And this was right there with how I felt when I watched Let It Snow last year, where I was like, this stands out as like an extremely well-made, I will rewatch this every single year, or if you're Kathleen, multiple times in the same year type movie. So I loved it.
I loved The Holiday too.
I was going to say
Holiday was fun, but I think this was better.
This was better, and Holiday's also one where I could watch it in July and be like, okay, cool.
So that's what I was going to say. It's not really a Christmas movie.
No, but it is a holiday movie, and I think that it makes you feel Christmassy, if that makes sense, even though it's all the holidays.
Yeah.
I think that since the Christmas is in it for 1 second, people always do that. If there's one Christmas scene, they're like, this is a Christmas movie.
That's what drives me nuts about Mean Girls. People are like, Mean Girls is a Christmas movie. I'm like, just because they sing Jingle Bell Rock for 2 minutes doesn't mean it's a Christmas movie.
That's wrong.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and the cast is just out of control. Like, so good.
Yeah. I gotta give Kristen Stewart credit for this, because I'm usually a very anti Kristen Stewart. She makes me uncomfortable. Like, she's so awkward. Mm-hmm. She crushed it in this. I became like a K Stu fan after this.
First thing I've ever liked her in, but I will say that I've really only ever seen her in Twilight, which I don't even know that I've seen them all. But it's less of that and more of interviews I've seen, I think, that makes me feel like I had that same thing as you, where I'm like, I don't really care for her, like, meeky, like, weird little shy mouse thing. But I really liked her in this, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have gone either way. They could have given Mackenzie Davis her role and put Kristen in that role, and we would be like, fuck Kristen Stewart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I am not team fuck Mackenzie Davis's character, Harper. I'm not on that side.
I will say that I'm not as much fuck Harper as I am just team Riley.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
like,
I mean, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, like Riley's, I don't know, we've talked about it before. We talked about it in one of the very recent episodes, but the idea of, I think you called them fast friendships.
Yeah.
Like, that's the dream. You know what I mean? Like, the dream is like you meet somebody and it's just like, it clicks and it makes sense, and you're just like on the same page and you just love being around each other. And I was like watching this movie where I'm like, it'd be awkward if she doesn't end up with Harper, but I'd be okay with it because they have such good chemistry.
I mean, that's what the whole fandom wanted. Everyone was like, fuck Harper, pro Riley, which is like, I mean, it's just how it's written. Aubrey Plaza was incredible as Riley, right? Their chemistry. Yeah. That was part of one of the scathing reviews I read. First of all, it was a Forbes review on Happiest Season, and the title was Crazy Rich or Happiest Season shares fatal flaw with Crazy Rich Asians. And the whole premise was that the couple that you're supposed to be rooting for has been doomed from the start. And the way they compare them is it's like, the guy, I love Crazy Rich Asians, by the way. I'm obsessed with that movie. I've seen that multiple times.
Yeah, me too.
But they're saying that, like, and I agree, Harper set herself up for failure. She lied about everything. She didn't tell her. Harper's family apparently, allegedly, has this amazing Christmas party every year in which her ex-girlfriend's entire family and her ex-boyfriend and his entire family go. And it doesn't seem like Harper said anything to Abby about it from the start.
That's the thing where it's like, I fall into these two categories because obviously, as a straight white male, it's not my place to tell someone when they should come out to their family. Yeah. But if you're not out with your family, that's probably important information to tell your long-term girlfriend before she meets your family.
So that's what the comparison is. So in Crazy Rich Asians, he doesn't tell her that he's he's royalty basically. And so the rest of the movie, we're watching our heroine on the defense the whole time. Like she sets her up for failure, and then we have to watch her struggle through it the whole movie, right? And that's kind of what happens here with Abby. You're watching her have to fight back. Obviously, the fatal flaw is the not coming out part. But even so, it's like, I don't care, Julie, if I'm bringing you home to who just a friend, an actual friend, to my Christmas party, I'm going to be like, okay, this is the shit you got to look out for. Like, you warn them. She didn't even warn them about the basic stuff, let alone the, oh, by the way, gigantic bomb dropped. My parents don't know, and you have to pretend that you're straight too. So that's why when Kristen at the end, or Abby, is like I feel suffocated from the closet you shoved me back into. It's
what
like,
a line.
Yeah.
What a line.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think that it's easy to stand on the sidelines and say, oh, well, clearly she should go with Riley. But like, every single one of us has been in some situation where it's like, you can't help who you love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like Riley could absolutely make the most sense for Abby, but she loves Harper.
Yeah.
And like, you can't stop that.
Or do you think you would, like, in an alternate universe, you would want them together, but you didn't actually want them together, right? Like Riley and Abby.
So I feel like with a lot of movies, like when you meet a character like Riley and you see them vibing, you're just like, oh, this is the assumption that they're gonna end up together. Like, I really thought that was gonna happen, and I was rooting for them in a sense of like, they're perfect together, like whatever, but also at the same time, like, we're seeing them as being perfect together because they're living the same exact experience. If you like really think about it, they have more of like a friendship than anything.
Yeah. I think that there is some reason to vilify Harper, because regardless of if she's ready to be out or not, what she's doing is very damaging to someone who is ready to be themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's telling them that they can't be themselves now. And it would be different if she was like, I feel like, as weird as this sounds, if she let Abby at least not have to pretend to be straight,
Yeah.
how much of a difference it may have made for the entire weekend. But now it's like, okay, now it's like I have to hide every aspect of my personality. Like, it would be like if I was dating someone and they were taking me to their family's house for the first time and like, oh, by the way, my family thinks that you're an athlete. And I have to just wing it and pretend that I know sports and that I like care about any of that stuff. It would be the most stressful thing I could imagine.
Yeah. I think that the biggest villain in this movie is Harper's whole family against Jane.
Jane's the best part of this
Jane's
entire
so good.
movie.
Jane is so good. And like, I genuinely would feel bad for Jane. Like,
Of course.
like, oh
Dude, when
God.
she-
But like, her character was so funny. It's like you laugh at everything. But from the outside, like when you're really watching it, you're like, this family fucking sucks towards Jane.
My only tears were when they broke the painting and she was just like, and it's like the one moment where she's like, I put so much work into that.
Yep.
And it's like, oh my God, like it crushed me. Oh, every time.
She was like, it was something, I'm something. Heartbreaking. Jane had, I mean, some of the best lines in the whole movie. Like, I don't have any secrets, but I am an ally.
Dude, so good.
Like, she wrote it with Clea Duvall. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
So Mary Holland, who plays Jane, I listened to her on a podcast. She is like so fucking charming and so sweet. And the funny part is, so there's a lot of good bits in this movie, and my favorite is obviously them weaving in her book, her telling people about her fantasy novel that she's writing. And so on the podcast, she talks about how she's obsessed with Lord of the Rings and that she could actually tell you the plot of that book because they wrote it out.
Really?
Yeah, like they actually wrote out a decent amount of that book and able to weave it into the movie. Isn't that so funny?
That is
I forget
really
what it's called, like
fucking
the
funny.
second sister and something.
Yeah.
I love that bit. And honestly, it took to my second watch to catch that John, Dan Levy's character, is a author manager or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Like I didn't even realize
Yeah,
that.
he said that when she asked him to watch the pets.
Yeah, which is another good bit.
Yeah.
The fish bit is another good one.
Oh my God. So you all know that we fucking love Daniel.
Yeah.
We are big Daniel girls.
Mm-hmm.
So so I had no idea what this movie was about.
No, I thought he was a bigger part in this movie.
Me
yeah.
too. I had no idea what this movie was about. Like when I put it on, I was totally clueless. Like I saw like if you follow him on Instagram, he kept sharing that of them like talking about it like when it was coming on. I can't think of what's that called. What is that called?
What?
Promoting it.
Oh.
What did you say?
I didn't say anything.
Oh.
I just like was laughing at the fact that you couldn't remember promoting it.
But I was clueless on what it was about. And then when I saw that he had such like a minimal role in it, he's still great in the scenes that he's in. Like
he shines in with him pretending to be straight next to her ex-boyfriend that he is so clearly attracted to is like that's one of the highlights in the movie for me.
Like, I guess he's handsome.
When he walks in the house and he's just like, Abby!
She's like, I nailed that, and she is fabulous.
What was it? He's just like, I don't know how many times I have to drop hints about this. I'm tracking you.
I am tracking you. And then I like that Harper like took that bit. She's like, John taught me how to track you, and she finds her at the end. I thought that was a good way. That's the other bit I really like too. I think they're. Oh yeah, and the orphan bit, of course.
Oh my God, the freaking orphan bit. When the mom makes a comment about her being in the orphanage.
Yeah. She's like, I was 19 when my parents died. Also, it's like, you poor thing, you probably never had a Christmas tree. And honestly, Abby is so good in this movie. There's slight moments where like Victor Garber's character will walk in the room, which is the dad, and she's like trying to get his attention or slip him a compliment or just trying really hard to be more than just this like orphan friend that it's so devastating. Like it really is.
It's one of those things where, I mean, I like the movie. It actually honestly surprises me that you've watched it as many times as you've watched it, Kathleen. Mm-hmm. Not because it doesn't hit all of the things that you love, but it also has so many stressful moments of like when they all just assume that she like robbed the jewelry store. Like it just drives, because it's like that stuff like just makes my skin curl because I put myself in the situation. I'm just like, I would lose my mind.
When Mary Steenburgen asked if she knows where the brooch is, she's like, I won't be mad, basically. I was like, I'd storm out of this place. I'd be so gone. But it's so interesting because even the articles I was reading, they say and it's true, they don't really give Harper and Abby much time to be good before there's already issues. And they're saying
it's like
there's no chemistry.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes in and we're already seeing
chemistry, though.
I agree. I think that you do see chemistry early on. But it's difficult when 90% of the movie is them playing against chemistry.
Here's my issue. I am famously loyal to a fault, and I love Mackenzie Davis. So my bias was giving her the benefit of the doubt the entire time. So like if you like, I don't know if this is the first thing you've seen Mackenzie Davis is, you might not want to see her in anything again. Yeah. But San Junipero Black Mirror episode, Emmy nominated, so amazing. Go check it out. It's a standalone episode. You don't have to watch the other Black Mirror episodes. It's really, really good.
So I am with you until the big moment for me where I was like, I remember I was literally laying in bed and I like shook my head.
Yeah.
Was when I just blanked on her name, but Alison Brie's character, her sister is like outs her,
and then she denies
denies it, and then Abby just leaves.
It's devastating. That's what you spoiled, by the way, Jewel. That part where you're like, when Harper was like, nah, buy him out, and I was like, shit, I didn't get there yet.
I was so pissed at that too. I was like, this is the time.
Okay, well, that's the kind of like the scene right before that. When Alison Brie walks in is a really good Harper scene. That's almost the, like, they're talking about coming out. No one should be outed or come out before they're ready, right? And that is a statement. That is a fact. And it's like Harper is defending herself. She's like, I know I'm being shitty. I don't know what I'm doing, but these are my parents. I don't know what else to do. Like, we had to fight for their love my entire lives. Like, if you didn't do exactly right, you lost it. It wasn't something that was just given to me for free. I had to fight for it. So I totally get it. I love that scene. And then you're right. When she denies it, it's like, Fuck.
Because it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I've never been in that situation. I'll probably never be in a situation like that. But like, I would like to believe that even if it was something I didn't want to talk about at that moment, if my back was against the wall, I would do the right thing. And in this case, the right thing is like, that's the moment where you're like, yeah, I am. And she's a great person. You've been treating her like shit this entire fucking week. Like,
And so have I.
Yeah.
In Harper's voice. Harper really was not. When Harper's like, I wanted to like stay at the bar. And they were texting back and she was not answering the text. And she's like, I need space. I'm like, you brought her here, bitch. You literally brought her here and you're getting a defensive that she's checking on you. You brought her to your parents' house. Why wouldn't you? It's your girlfriend.
I know. And she's too nice. Like, if Kenny pulled that shit and then he texted me and was like, I'm sorry, can we talk later? I love you. I wouldn't answer that shit for fucking 5 hours.
Oh, I'm such a pussy.
No, I do not play that shit. I will leave your ass on red for hours.
well, and that's like that conversation that happens at the party where it's like, oh yeah, normally I'd be really annoyed if someone brought me to a place where I didn't know anybody and abandoned me. And it's like, yeah, same. Like,
Allison Brie has great delivery of these savage lines.
Yeah.
She's really good in this.
it's so funny because I feel like people assume, and they probably assume the same about pretty much anybody with a podcast, but like, they're like, you talk on microphones with your friends, you're probably great in any social setting, but there's a difference between being around like people that I know and trust and being goofy and like plopping me in a room where I know no one.
I'd be devastated.
When I don't know anyone, it hurts me.
Oh.
It physically, like, I need to drink so much alcohol to feel something. Like, I was actually almost like that. This is weirdly enough, but like our 5-year reunion. So like me and Kathleen, like we talked about before, like we were always like friends, but we like, there was a point where we didn't hang out. Like I didn't feel weird around you, but it was like we weren't as close as we are now. So like the thought of, and I remember I was supposed to go with Shannon and she ended up getting sick.
To my pregame or to the...
No, to the reunion.
Okay.
And I had like such anxiety about going to that because I was like, I don't hang out with any of these people that are going to be here. Like, so I got fucking plaster drunk. Like, Kenny had to pick me up at like 10. Like, it was like it was not a late night for me. And I ended up being fine. Like, once you see people that you know, you're like, whatever. Like, I can do
you're
this,
plaster
but
drunk.
Yeah, exactly. When you got a lot of drinks in you, you can talk to anyone. But just like even the build up of events where like I know I'm not going to be like fully comfortable, I just like I can't.
I end up in one of two situations, which is like I try to join a conversation and hopefully it succeeds, and like 9 times out of 10 it doesn't, and then the silence is deafening and I need to leave. Or I like follow the one person I know like a lapdog, and I know that I'm being obnoxious and needy, but it's like I don't know anybody else and you're the only person I feel comfortable around.
That's the worst.
I
feel like you have to follow somebody.
Yeah.
I'm a latcher too. I kind of felt that way at your bachelorette. Not that I didn't have a fucking blast, but it's like once you're who I want to latch to, right?
Yeah.
But it's like a wedding. You can't latch to the bride.
Yeah.
Like, that's their night. You gotta let them talk to other people. Just like at your wedding, I was like, damn, I wish I could just like latch on. I want to hang out with you.
Oh man, we never got the one thing that we wanted to do, which was the 3 of us in a photo booth.
I know. But like at your
one.
bachelorette, I was like trying to like, I didn't want to be just hanging out with you the whole time, but I'm not best friends with anybody. Well, Stephanie left, so it's like I was like, okay, what's my plan of attack here? I had
Who
to, like,
did you
figure out-
latch to?
You.
Oh, I thought
like
you were
all
saying
day
you
that
latched-
Saturday.
Oh
like
my
after
god!
she
So
left,
that's what I was gonna say. So I had a really fucked up Saturday day at my bachelor party, and I was just like bugging out, and the only person that I felt calm with was Kathleen. Like at one point, like she came in the room, and I was like, "Can you just lay with me?" And she was like rubbing my head, and I was like if someone walked in, they would have been like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
I'd be like,
And,
I'm rubbing her head. She's bugging out. What do you
oh
mean?
my god! Like it was just like. Kathleen was the only person that like I felt like like people would come in and be like, and I'm just like, oh my god, where's Kathleen?
It was making it worse. Can we talk about the most implausible thing of the whole movie is the idea of that the 2 girls couldn't just like be in the same room after they were going to bed. Like I don't care,
adult
Julie.
women.
Adult women. Like if you took me home and I'm your orphan friend, we're hanging out until 2 a.m. drinking wine in your bedroom. It's not a big deal. No one's gonna think anything of it. You know what I mean? I was like, why are you sneaking up? Your best friends and roommates, just go upstairs and hang out with your fucking friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was almost like Harper wanted to hide it so badly that it was like she didn't even want to be affiliated with her. It was like actually insane. And we need to talk about the twins weren't in it much, but they were hysterical when they were in it.
Yeah, like, am I dying? Is Santa dying? Am I dying?
So flat, just like
except classic
zombies.
Issue in like any sort of corny movie where they put the fucking necklace in the bag. I was like, damn it! It's just like an issue that doesn't need to happen. And the random friend, like the lady that was in.
Oh, making out with the husband?
Yeah, but she was also in the store and she just like doesn't remember her name. I'm like, damn, Abby's really getting this shit under the stick here.
I kind of wish that I didn't really like the Sloan situation. Like they agreed to get divorced. Like to me, it would have been juicier if she just caught him cheating there in the closet.
No, I think the point is that they're
didn't
both
want to disappoint.
How opposite Abby and Sloan are, or Harper and Sloan are. Like they're both hiding something because they want their parents' love so much. And like she said, she's like, I'm nothing. Like my family's the only thing I have to you guys. Like I'm not worth anything without having this perfect family because you think I'm do nothing. Which I thought that was a good parallel, and that's of course when Jane comes in with. She's an ally.
Yeah, I guess I guess it does.
It had to be that way, and I kind of liked that Sloan. Like it was a good twist that when they catch it and Harper kind of looks like, oh shit, and then you realize Sloan already knew about it.
She's like, really? We weren't going to do this until after the
I thought that was a good twist. I was like, damn.
Well, and there's maybe it's because of the politician, but there was that part of me that thought that they were in a throuple for a couple seconds, and I was like, oh, it's a divorce. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense.
Makes me think like thruples are happening everywhere. Like I swear,
conscious unthroupling.
Yeah. I got very excited. Probably more excited than any other human being watching this when my favorite drag queen Jinx Monsoon shows up in this movie singing Must Be Santa Claus with Ben Della Creme, both from season 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race, the best season. Oh, it's so good.
That was actually a really, really good fucking scene.
Yeah. It's a really great. I didn't realize they shot this in Pittsburgh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were in Pittsburgh.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and that's like an actual bar there. Like Aubrey Plaza and all them have been. Now I can't think of it, promoting.
What?
Promoting the movie, like, and posting all these pictures. And Aubrey Plaza posted one that was like the best bar in all Pittsburgh. Like all their posts were like, "We love you, Pittsburgh." It's so bizarre to me, like that.
Pittsburgh's a cool city. Like
I've never been. It's just like one of those things where it's in. I mean, we're in Philadelphia, outside of Philadelphia, so it's like. It's pretty far.
It's 4 hours.
It's like for 4 hours, I could go somewhere like New York or, that's like other places that aren't in PA. There's something about it still being in PA where I'm like, why would I
go there?
Yeah.
I love New York. Ugh.
New York.
I love it.
Anyway, we can't go through this without talking about Daniel's amazing speech at the end to Abby. It's like the best.
Harper not coming out to her parents has nothing to do with you.
How could it not?
Remind me, what did your parents say when you told them you were gay?
That they loved and supported me.
That's amazing. My dad kicked me out of the house and didn't talk to me for 13 years after I told him. Everybody's story is different. There's your version. And my version, and everything in between. But the one thing that all of those stories have in common is that moment. Right before you say those words, when your heart is racing and you don't know what's coming next. That moment's really terrifying. And then once you say those words, you can't unsay them. A chapter has ended and a new one's begun, and you have to be ready for that. Can't do it for anyone else. Just because Harper isn't ready, it doesn't mean she never will be. And it doesn't mean she doesn't love you.
I want to be with someone who is ready.
There's your story, which was good when you told your parents. There's my story, which I was shunned for 13 years, and everything in between. And when he talks about the moment before you tell it, and then it's like the end of an era, and you're starting something completely new. I'm like, tears in the chat.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's really good. And I really like when extra points for Harper when she's talking to her family and comes out, and I don't know if Abby's still in the room or not, but when she says, like, I did this to Riley, I hurt Riley, and I don't want to hurt Abby in this way. And I was like, that's so good that she's like recognizing that she did the same exact thing to Riley, and how that fucked up their relationship and fucked up her and Riley and all this stuff. Like, and then she's saying, I can't do that to Abby. I was like, that was a really good line and moment.
And the Riley thing is even harder, you have to think, because if her and Harper break up, it's like easy to cut ties and never see her again. Mm-hmm. But like, as we've established, that Riley relationship was years ago, and every Christmas they have to see each other and play nice.
Yeah.
Like, that is so upsetting.
And even like the Riley situation is just like so fucked up because it, at least like in her current situation now, they're like adults. Like, she outed Riley when they were in high school.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And like totally left her like in the dark of being like, she's obsessed with me, which is like such a like a, I feel like anytime you're caught, like that's like the main thing that people go after. Like, it's not me, it's her, like she's obsessed with me.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's just horrible.
You hate to see it.
You really do hate to see it. And you know what? Like, when they brought up in the beginning where she's like, I think they like run into her in the bathroom and she's like, is that the Riley? Like, I was thinking like, oh, this must have been like her girlfriend in college. Like, you know what I mean? Like something like that.
Yeah.
And then when you actually find out like the story, it's like, God damn it, Harper.
And that raises a lot of interesting questions, because it makes you wonder, what's the version of that story that Harper's been telling Abby all these years? Because it probably isn't the actual version. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I was thinking, that's funny you said that.
Well, you know that. She tells it. Riley says, what do you know, at that bar? And when you see it 3 times, I mean, you know what I mean?
You pick up little details.
But Abby says, oh, I know you were her girlfriend in high school. That's all I know. Is there more? And then that's a great Aubrey Plaza scene when she goes through it, because it's obviously she'll never get over it, but she's an adult now, like you said. She can tell the story. It's fine.
Yeah, what does she say? She was like, I can relate to what it's like to love someone and have them be ashamed to love you back, or something like that.
Yeah,
she says something because I just watched it before we came, and I was like, damn.
It's a good ass movie. Is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like if there was enough movies that came out this year that I were to do a top 10 list like I normally do at the end of each year, this would be on the top 10 for sure.
I feel like we're not giving it saying how funny it is. Like, we're talking about a lot of the like deep stuff without giving it its credit, where it's like, it's fucking funny. I showed it to Kelsey last night, and I was loudly laughing out loud. Still, three views in, I was like, every Jane scene just gets even better every single time. It's just so fucking funny. It's incredible.
Yeah, the family basically uses Jane as like their IT person. It's just
every line. I was like, wow. I didn't realize she wrote it until after the first time I saw it. So after, I was like, she's giving herself the best lines here, man.
Dude, everything she says and does is so funny. So like, as I said earlier, like, when you really think about it, it's so fucked up, but like it's like they make it very like comical. Like, it's just Jane's just like this goofy sister that seems to be like the parent letdown. Like, the mom's like, I asked Jane to run errands and she said she would, but I don't trust her, so you need to go with her.
I relate to her like manic energy when they're like, she's like, yeah, my room's in the basement because I had night terrors. They didn't want to wake her. I was like, fucking feel you, sis. When she pops out of when she comes in to the kitchen, she's like, freeze, don't you move until I hug you or something. And they just do. It's like the most uninviting vibes from both of them. It is so fun. She is like the light where there's tension almost anywhere else.
Yeah.
She is the place where it's absolutely not. And I liked her painting, and I love when John, the character, Daniel, was like, I really like that. Or like when she shows the painting.
So
Yeah.
I just got curious. I wanted to see if this was Clea's first directorial film, and it's not. But I really want to track down her first film. This is her second one. Her first film was called The Intervention. And this is all it says on Wikipedia for the plot summary, is a weekend getaway between four couples takes a sharp turn when one of the couples discovers that the entire trip was orchestrated to host an intervention about their marriage.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, and it's like Ben Schwartz from...
Yep, I've seen it.
This sounds amazing, but it sounds great. And based on how much I like this movie, I want to see her other... And she's going to become one of those directors that I like look forward to what comes out, because she has a good flair for style. She knows how to take what could be like a cliche contrived story that we've seen a million times and does something really unique and different with it where it feels fresh. And she has a ton of famous friends to really stack a cast with like good, talented, funny people.
The Veep cast was raising money for voting in Georgia for this upcoming election, and you had to donate anything, so I donated because they were doing a table read for their episode called Mother, which is like stacked cast, and Clea is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character's bodyguard, so who ends up being with the Veep's daughter and everything. It's really good, and she's so funny in it. And I just watched that on Sunday night, and she was like part of the episode because she's in that stream of seasons or whatever. But she's really funny as an actor too. So that's probably why she's so good as a director. That tends to happen. Anything else, Joel's, on Happiest season? Are you having the happiest season?
I actually am.
This is like shockingly, for what a shit show this year was, this has been like a perfect December for me. What, like, just vibes wise.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I feel like people have decorated harder than usual this year.
Sure, for morale.
And I think it's because like it's been Doom's year.
Yeah.
So like I love Christmas lights. I'm loving all these things that places are doing, and like to social distance, like they're still having these like light shows, but it's like in your car, which is like the perfect thing for me because I fucking hate walking.
In the cold. You just get to sit there with the
Walking
air
in the
conditioner or the
fucking
heat
cold.
on.
And we just went to this place this weekend in Jersey, and it was amazing. You like drove through. It was like a 20-minute drive through, and there was a specific radio station that you put on, and it matched the lights.
Awesome.
Very cool.
It was amazing. It's a lot of Christmas, like a lot of holiday vibes this season. I've been really loving it, and I just love I love my tree up.
Love it.
I think COVID Christmas has done kind of the same thing that everyone was kind of feeling in like March or April, where like there was actually kind of a niceness of being forced to like slow down and like take in life. And I think that so much of like the normal December for me is like, well, I got to run and meet up with these people, and I got to go to the mall and do this shopping. And I don't actually have time to like just sit and have a cup of tea and watch like a good Christmas movie and just like be present.
Yeah, I feel like just like working from home in general makes me feel like I spend more time with Kenny and family than I did like when I was in the office.
Yeah.
Like when I was in the office, I'd get home at like 6:30 once like I got back with traffic. Like I leave at 4:30, and sometimes it would take me like an hour and a half because traffic was stupid. And then I would just make dinner and we would go to bed. Like we didn't. So the like not having a commute and just like being home all the time, I think that's like another reason why like Christmas is hitting different this year. Because it's like I have so much free time to just like chill. And
I literally have like Christmas movies on the TV while I'm working, and then like I go and do Christmassy things after work. Like it's like, oh, I'm going to make cookies. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do that thing. Like
He's going to do his Christmas podcast.
Yeah.
Christmas 365.
yeah, promotion.
I've been saving them up because I usually all my podcasts are backing up because I'm not walking outside anymore because it's freezing.
It's too dark and too cold. It
so
sucks.
when I go, I can still go to Planet Fitness or whatever, but I watch TV instead. Like I just put my phone up instead.
Do you remember?
Yes, I know what you're gonna say when you're like I'm watching. Oh wait, were you like I'm watching you or something?
No, you were like, I texted you something, and you were like, "Sorry, I'm at the gym." Yes, bragging about the gym, and I was like, oh my God, Planet Fitness. I'm on the elliptical. I see you. And then I texted her quick, like 5 seconds later, and was like, stop looking around. I'm joking.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's
that was
so good.
maybe 5 years ago.
That was a long time
Yeah.
ago.
Anyway, that was the happiest season. We have to cut it out because we have another episode that we're recording that we're going to rant for another hour. So we're cutting this one off. Have the happiest season of all.
This has been My Favorite Episode Of. My Favorite Episode Of is produced by Matt Kelly as part of the Geekscape Network and hosted by Julie and Kathleen. Check out our show notes for all of our socials and email us at myfavoriteepisodepodcast@gmail.com. Rate, review, and subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting apps, and we'll be back next week with another episode of My Favorite Episode Of.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.